Mattel, whose most famous product is the Barbie doll. Harold Motson and Elliot Handler founded Mattel in 1945. The company sold picture frames and later dollhouse furniture. Motson sold his share to Handler due to poor health, and Handler's wife Ruth took Motson's role. They started their garage in Southern California. They started creating dollhouses. When their dollhouses began selling more than their picture frames, they decided to become a toy manufacturing company instead. And things did turn out well for them. They are the largest toy-making company in the world today and are worth $10 billion. In 1901, 20-year-old William S. Harley drew up plans for a small engine with a displacement of 7.07 cubic inches and 4-inch flywheels. The engine was designed for use in a regular pedal bicycle frame. Over the next 2 years, Harley and his childhood friend Arthur Davidson worked on their motor bicycle using the Northside Milwaukee machine shop at the home of their friend, Henry Melk. They formally launched Harley-Davidson in the year 1903, and the brand, worth over $10 billion, is now synonymous with high-end luxury motorbikes. Bill Hewlett and David Packard graduated with degrees in electrical engineering from Stanford University in 1935. The company originated in a garage in nearby Palo Alto during a fellowship they had with a past professor, Frederick Terman, at Stanford during the Great Depression. In 1938, Packard and Hewlett began part-time work in a rented garage with an initial capital investment of $538. The HP200A, a precision audio oscillator, was the company's very first financially successful product. One of the company's earliest customers was Walt Disney Productions, which bought 8 Model 200B oscillators, at $71.50 each, for use in certifying the Fantasound surround sound systems installed in theaters for the movie Fantasia. The company is now worth about $13 billion. Dell traces its origins to 1984, when Michael Dell created Dell Computer Corporation. Dell dropped out of school to focus full-time on his fledgling business. In 1985, the company produced the first computer of its own design, the Turbo PC, which sold for $795. In 1996, Dell began selling computers via its website. And the expansion went very well for him, making Dell one of the strongest competitors in the computer manufacturing market, and taking the company's worth to over $50 billion. Nike, originally known as Blue Ribbon Sports, was founded by University of Oregon track athlete Phil Knight and his coach, Bill Bowerman, on January 25, 1964. Nike started in the trunk of a car. For the first 2 years, it couldn't even find any retailers, and today, Nike is the biggest manufacturer of sports apparel and accessories. The company is worth about $90 billion now. Walt Disney and his brother Roy started filming Alice comedies, part of Alice's Wonderland, in their uncle's garage in Los Angeles back in 1923. Film distributor Margaret J. Winkler of M.J. Winkler Productions contacted Disney with plans to distribute a whole series of Alice comedies purchased for $1.50 per reel with Disney as a production partner. They wouldn't have known it then, but their company, worth over $150 billion, is now the biggest multimedia conglomerate in the whole world. The world's largest online marketplace started as an online bookstore. Jeff Bezos founded Amazon in 1994. Amazon started its operations from Bezos' home garage in Bellevue, Washington. Although it took almost an entire year for Amazon to sell their first book, the business soon started to grow exponentially and is now one of the biggest companies in the world, valued at almost $300 billion. Here's another tech giant that had a small start. When Bill Gates and Paul Allen started Microsoft, they had a small garage and very little resources to work with. However, something they did have in abundance was their programming skills, using which they built their first operating system and licensed it for $80,000. A few years later, Windows was born, and we know how that turned out. Microsoft, over $400 billion in worth, has been ruling the PC market for more than 2 decades now, making Bill Gates the richest man on the planet in the process. Larry Page and Sergey Brin started Google in current YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki's garage in September 1998. Started as just another college project at Stanford, Google is the biggest internet giant today. Page and Brin tried to sell the company to Excite for $1 million, which Excite rejected. And they're surely regretting it, now that Google is worth over $500 billion. Apple started in 1976 when Steve Wozniak designed the first Apple I computer for $500. When a local retailer made a demand for 50 computers, Steve Jobs and Wozniak got all the parts and put together 50 computers in 30 days. They did it at Jobs' parents' garage in Cupertino, California. Today, with a swanky office in Cupertino called Infinite Loop, Apple is the world leader in technology and is worth over $550 billion.